Hey guys, how's it going? This is BobbyKBikes here and welcome to another BobbyKBikes video. This is the first of the Raleigh 20 Shopper rebuild videos. Today I'm hoping to get at least a wheel rebuild done, a hub rebuild done on the front wheel, maybe brake caliper rebuilds and possibly even crankset rebuilds, but maybe not, we might run out of time. But let's assess it first of all. It spins for a good long time, so I don't think this has been too neglected. I think the bike had maybe had some overhaul done before we bought it, because it certainly had a new set of tyres on when we bought it in 1997, so if it was re-greased it was probably done then, but as you can see it's still spinning fairly nicely, and they say that a wheel's properly greased and cones are good when, there we go, when it stops spinning and it spins back just a little bit, and that's what we've got. And the play, well, there isn't really any play, but well, we would have known if we damaged it earlier because I've been using this thing for 10 years. So, now that we've done that assessing, we can take the wheel off. Judging by the distance between the pads and the blocks and the rims, I shouldn't even need to undo the brakes or let air out of the tyre to get the wheel off. So, now I had a wee look around through my toolbox and through all my spanners, and I'm not even sure if this is imperial or metric, because this is from 1974, but a 14mm is just too big. Actually you'll see it better that way. 14mm is too big, there's too much wobble in it. And then if you take a 13mm, doesn't fit. Whereas this spanner here, which is one of my granddad's old spanners, does fit, and the end that I find fits, it's a bit of bad wear on the spanner. I think it says 5/16 BS 1/4 W. It's a King Dick spanner. I'm not sure how good that brand is, but I recently inherited my granddad's toolbox, so I'm making good use of his tools. But this is the spanner that seems to fit the wheel best. There's not quite so much wobble, and yeah, there's some good tools. Now that's that undone. Now if we just, we've got to take the nuts. Oh, don't use the R nuts because R nuts are valuable. We need to get the nuts and the washers off, and then rack off. Not to be rude and Australian. And the mudguard stays off. There we go. And now, with any luck, the wheel might slide out of there. I ain't counting on it. We'll catch up with you guys when we've got it. We're also going to clean up the forks around here because there's just 40 years of dirt gathered there. The wheel's in good condition, and the inside of the mudguard could also do with the whole mudguard in general could really do with a clean. And there's a little bracket which did originally have a very small weld joining it onto the mudguard, like so. And that weld is broken, and for the last few years the mudguard's been doing that, which was the cause of the nasty rattling sound that we got when we rode it. So we're probably going to pop rivet it or something, but for now we'll just clean everything up so we've got a better idea of what it all looks like. Right, I've got it apart, and again Raleigh have been playing a game of let's save ourselves a little bit of money by only putting a bit that you can do with the cone spanner on one side, so I had to put the wheel in the vise to get it out. That said, it did come apart a lot easier than the Nightburner's wheel, but okay, I'm not going to reach in there unless I get the spindle out. I just hope I don't send ball bearings flying everywhere. And I did, oh well. They're not going far for now. I'll just put them in the tub. Yeah, the wheel did come apart a lot easier than the Nightburner's wheel, which I did an instructional video on, which I filmed yesterday. I may not have uploaded it before this one, but yeah, the video was, I'm pleased with how the video turned out, but it was perhaps, I made a few mistakes and the wheel didn't come to bits very easily for me, so let's continue. Okay guys, it's now been a couple of days since the last clip was shot, and I've since done a bit more disassembly on this bike. I didn't want to take too much to bits at the one time, because that's when you start losing bits and it turns more into a sort of involved restoration that lasts for a bit longer, and I'm really just looking for this to be a rolling rebuild. But we got the hub repacked, there's fresh grease in there now. I think the spindle's bent though, so I'm going to need to source another spindle, because annoyingly that's a size that Raleigh doesn't, a size of spindle that nobody really makes anymore, so I'm going to have to go for new old stock or have a look around the sort of scrapyard area of B-Cycle. What else? Took the rear wheel out today and cleaned up the surrounding area. I've taken the rear brakes off and I've cleaned them up. Just got them on my work table here. What I did was I took the calipers completely to bits, put every bit of it into a tub, sprayed it with muck off and rattled it around. I did the same to the front calipers the other day, and we got that result, which looks very nice. I've been cleaning up the chain. I've got the chain off, and it's also been sprayed with muck off and scrubbed with the brush. And now I'm going to attempt to rebuild the crank bearings, because we'll just lift that cable out of the way, put it where it's out of harm's way. There's a part of the revolution here that just doesn't feel nice, like it. There's a bit where it sticks, so I think it's probably long overdue a rebuild in there. Let's see what we can find. Okay guys, after many days of no progress with this project, we've suddenly done a fair bit. We've got the front wheel back on and the rack back on. I've still to rebuild the steering, so the rack might have to come off again. Oh well. And we've finally got one of the cranks off, and we're going to get all that out and re-grease the crank bearings and give that a good clean up. There was quite a thick layer of dirt round about there-ish where it's not been covered all these years. Same with over here. You can see in there I've taken off the chain and I've been brushing that up, and yeah, the bike's beginning to look good. We'll catch up with you guys when we've got a bit more done. This, viewers, is what 40 years of neglect looks like. I have never seen anything quite like this in my life. Could you rotate it a wee bit? You can see it's covered in unrecognisable crap, to say anything else of it, and if you look through the frame it looks a bit dirty in there as well. I think this is a job that's definitely long overdue.